What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More. And for this week's mini episode, I have Rachel and Steve back from our super popular, most viewed episode ever, the Succession recap that we did. We were recording that and got to talking about Fast X and decided we just needed to roll it into another podcast episode. Here we are. Guys, Fast X. First thoughts. Tell me one word what you think about it.
So first I want to clarify something. Does everyone know what Fast X is? Are they going to assume we're talking about some popular like OnlyFans page? Or Fast X in itself is a little bit provocative.
I really want Vin Diesel to just spin it and then just go all in and just name the next one Fast Triple X and mash up his two franchises. So then it really sounds like we're talking
I actually love the movie Triple X. Steven can
Oh, me too. The first one is so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yes, Dom Toretto has a twin brother named Xander Cage that is a stunt man.
With how these movies are going, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
That is what's next. We didn't go to space in this episode or this movie, so
that's right.
Gotta do something else.
Sorry, but one word. I want Steven to start.
Just ridiculous.
It's fair. Rachel?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of words. Or like good words, like my vocabulary isn't like phenomenal. So I'll say entertaining. Like I have so many words. It's also hard for me to just say one word. Entertaining.
That's fair. I mean, since neither one of you stole it, I'm just gonna say family. It's about family.
It is, just good, wholesome family movie,
That's right.
To go from talking about Succession, which is like dysfunction junction in the family department, to like Dom Toretto and just like, can you imagine if they were multi-billionaires running the news? That's what I want to see. The world would be a better place.
That would be some entertaining as hell news, though.
The Fast family running Fox News. That's what's next.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the crossover I want to see. Yeah. I want to see Kendall. I want to see Kendall just go to the streets now that he can't take it.
This is Brazil.
Dom's gonna take him in, right? And trust him. Anyway,
I'm all for that.
Where do we begin?
Fast X. This is the 10th Fast and Furious movie. If you didn't know, that probably a good call by Rachel that we should call that out. If you listen to this podcast for our musical episodes, there may not be crossover. You may not be familiar with the Fast and Furious franchise, and let me tell you, you're missing out on about 50% of the movies. They have about a 50% hit rate for me, but.
Does anyone? I mean, I grew up with Dom Toretto basically at this point because there's so many episodes, movies. Like, can you imagine a world where maybe someone doesn't know what Fast and Furious is?
Wow.
I think the first one was like 2001. I'm gonna look it up.
It was
quick,
something
but
like
that.
I
think it was 2001 was the first movie.
And they were stealing VCRs, and they weren't super good criminals either. Like, they were thwarted by one truck driver with a shotgun. And so we went from that to them being like superhero super spies. And
the sky's the limit.
We did get a street race in this one, though, which we didn't get the last couple ones. So we did get a street race again. The lingering on the scantily clad women dancing in the streets.
Well, I'm drinking a gallon of water a day.
It's not. It's not a Fast and Furious. Yeah, it's not a Fast and Furious movie if there aren't like close-up shots of like booties dancing,
Yes. And we're all here for it.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to be of a certain size. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I did confirm it was 2001 was the first movie. So yeah, 22 years ago. Where were you?
Dude, I loved the first movie. It was, yeah. Oh gosh, you're younger. But yeah, exactly. Like literally, I've known Vin Diesel all my life. He's been my family.
I was young enough when this came out. I wasn't allowed to watch it for a good 6 to 8 years.
Doesn't mean you weren't family, Matt. You just didn't know it yet.
I was part of the family. Yeah. No, we'll discuss spoilers about Fast X. So if you haven't seen it, just heads up. We're gonna get into all this super fun stuff. But this is one of my favorites. You know what happened. Yeah. This was one of my favorites of the franchise. And maybe it's just like recency bias of seeing it, but I had so much fun with this one. It's so ridiculous and over the top. And Alan Ritchson
own that now.
Spray tan is so goddamn bad. Yeah.
Like the word I used was ridiculous, but like it was a good thing. Like these movies are just so over the top. You can't help but like laugh at like the stunts that are happening. Like, oh my God, like of course this is happening, like of course they're doing this. Of course they're driving down a dam, like just all this crap. But I am with you, Matt. Like this has to be like, one of my favorites. Like, I don't know, for sure 8 and 9 are kind of forgettable for me. Like I remember like the characters, who were the bad guys, and like, okay, John Cena was good at the end or whatever. Like, I remember that stuff, but like, really, I don't remember much else. Oh, they went to space in 9. They went to space. But like, I'm with you. This one was
glided out of a commercial airline in this one with a kayak.
No, it was a super secret government thing that John Cena, who, by the way, is playing a completely different character in this movie than he did the last one. Like, he's just not the same person. Like, he's just John Cena in this one. And the other one, he was all brooding and mopey and everything. And this one, he's always cracking jokes. And maybe it's because he's with a kid half the time.
He's with his family. Nothing is better than family. If you don't have family, you don't have anything. Of course he's better.
One of the, you're really alienating our orphan listeners, but no, he does. Yeah, we can have orphan listeners, and now they feel like they have nothing.
No, I'm just quoting the legendary, great Dom Toretto in this movie.
We all should have gone and cut off our sleeves before we recorded this episode in true fast fashion.
Just flex the whole time.
But
in order to be like Vin Diesel, you have to eat 8,000 calories a day and lift 3 times a day. This is what Steven told me, and I was like, I lift 10-pound weights with my arm every other day. I could probably bump that up to 3 times a day if I could eat 8,000 calories. That's a dream.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 2 McDonald's meals. That's 8,000 calories.
That's right.
That's not
or
3.
one Cold Stone
Not
shake.
Not the same.
I'm like, maybe I will be the next Vin Diesel.
The next Vin. There's some aspirations right there.
Lucky Steven. I don't know.
Anything for family.
I just think it's hilarious to me because, like, in 2001, when Vin Diesel came out, he was huge. You're like, oh my God, this is the biggest, most muscular man I've ever seen. Like, oh my God, it's Vin Diesel. And then he made the mistake of continuing to cast people larger than he is, though you can't tell from the movies. And then he lost his pizzazz, right? Because you were like, obviously you can't be in this movie unless you are just jacked beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's where he went wrong. He should have just continued to be the dominant man, and now he is, but he isn't.
Yeah. I was listening. One of the podcasts I listened to, it's called "How Did This Get Made," and it's got a couple actors from the league in it, and they watch it's a mix. They either do bad movies that are just awful and they just talk about it and laugh about it and have fun, or movies that are just ridiculous that they love. And they recently did the first Fast and Furious one, and they had Seth Rogen on it with them too. And they were just talking. They're like, in the very first Fast and Furious movie, Dom Toretto owns a sandwich shop. And that's how Brian goes in, because Dom has the sandwich shop that Mia works there, and Brian goes in every day to get the tuna sandwiches. He asks her how it is. Not very good.
Also,
and that just never comes up again.
Before Fast X, I don't think I knew that they were of Hispanic heritage.
Dude, every time
I thought they were Italian.
They have a different ethnicity playing the different age ranges of Dom every movie. Young Dom is black. And then Dom in Fast 9 is more Hispanic or whatever. I'm just what? Vin Diesel, apparently Vin Diesel, I learned about this on that podcast too. He made a short film that was called Many Facial. And they told him, they're like, someone really needs to work with him on his naming things, Triple X and then Many Facial. But it's about how Vin Diesel played the character, and he was pitching that he could basically play any ethnicity. He could play Native American, he could play Hispanic, he could play white, all these things. So now I need to look that up and find it.
But I was shocked in Fast X, and maybe I just didn't pick up on it in the other 10 movies previously, 9, excuse me, in my last 20 years of life. But they were like, oh, it's his abuelita, and I'm like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and that was Rita Moreno played his abuelita, which she is a bigger, she was in West Side Story. She's one of the main characters in the original version of West Side Story, and the new one, she's more of a classical actress. But we have Helen Mirren in the Fast and Furious movies too. These are people. It's why are you doing these movies?
Because they know where the money is.
Yeah, that's true.
These movies make a shit ton of money.
And I'm sure Vin Diesel does a phenomenal job of roping you into this what I think is actual family, because I follow Vin Diesel on the gram, and he has real life Letty, and I'm an idiot, so I don't know these people. I only know
Michelle
these people
Rodriguez.
as Fast and Furious characters. He has real life Letty at his house, at the pool in his everyday life, or his real life, or his fake little sister, whatever. She's at a barbecue. They are legitimately a family. So I bet he ropes him in, and then he's probably got the connect. He's got it figured out.
I think he's kind of like the action movie Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler has it figured out now that he just makes movies and gets his friends in them and uses it to get paid to go on a vacation, basically. And I think that's what Vin Diesel does with these movies. He's like, hey, I'm going to get my family. They're all going to be hooked up. We're all going to get paid. We're going to have some fun together and just be ridiculous. My biggest issue with it is they give so much away in the previews for these movies that it just annoys me. I tried to not watch as many for this one, but in Fast 9 or F9, because they don't follow any normal naming thing. They had Fate of the Furious for the 8th one, then they went with F9, the Fast Saga for the 9th one, and then this one's just Fast X. But they put the scenes from the finale of the movie into the trailer, so you're just, for me, then I'm just waiting for it, and I know something else is going to happen when I'm watching it. They do it with this one. I'm like, you are 10 movies in. people know what these movies are. They're gonna see it. You don't need to give everything away in the trailer. And
True.
I also think that they just need to kill off Paul Walker's character in this universe, because it makes no sense why he's never showing up. Like, you're talking about family, and then they'll
No.
randomly reference him, but then he just never shows up to anything. And it's like, you had the perfect opportunity. You've had so many characters that are like going after and killing everyone in your family. And then I don't know. I just feel like it's ridiculous. And like, why would he name his kid Brian after Paul Walker's character? Like, that was supposed to be, he did that in the one that they filmed when Paul Walker had passed away. And so there, it was supposed to be like heartwarming. He's like, I'm going to name him Brian. It's like, why would you name your kid after your very alive brother-in-law in this universe? Like, why?
Name your kids after alive people.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. Steven.
Would you
Steven
name
knows
your
it's just a
kid
chord for
after
me.
your brother-in-law? No.
Of course. I love my brother-in-law.
I mean, I wouldn't, because I don't have as tight of a family as they do. Like, I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want my brother-in-law to get a big head. Like, that's literally.
You don't have a brother-in-law.
Right. I know, but hypothetically, like, that's the same reason why I didn't name him after my friends or my actual brother. You know, like stuff like that. But no, the Paul Walker still being alive in the universe. I don't know. It's just something I've accepted. It hasn't bothered me yet, I guess. I get where you're coming from, because like, it crosses my mind. I'm like, man, like, you know, Brian should be there. But then, you know, you just think back, it's like, no, he, like, they played it off like, you know, no, he wanted out of the game. He wanted to be a father first, and that's what he's doing. Well, and that's what he's doing. And so, like, I guess I've just kind of accepted that. Like, now he is like the safe house, though. Like, for because I think, like, in the 9th one, like, Dom's kid gets sent to Brian's or something like that, or I don't know. I could be making that up, but so I guess I've just accepted that.
You guys, Steven knows this is like a sensitive subject for me, and something I bring up after every movie. I think it's just class all the way. Like, Vin Diesel just being the loyal to a fault person that he is in this franchise. He could have absolutely killed off Paul Walker, and people would have ate that shit up, right? And they would have, like, he could have advertised and publicized.
All right. We are back. We had some technical difficulties. I don't know where exactly it dropped off. But I know, Steve, we were talking about accepting Paul Walker where he's at in this place in the franchise at this time. That he's just alive, being cool with it. And that's fair. Now he's kind of the safe house. But
yeah. And then I think when Rachel started talking, it was kind of when we lost things, maybe.
Yeah. What were your feelings on it, Rachel?
Yes, Rachel.
So many feelings. I just think that it's classy of Vin Diesel to not kill him off, because he could have. It's very much what everyone else would have done. Very predictable, but he's loyal to a fault. So he is not going to make it a big deal out of respect to his friend. And he's going to keep him in it forever. And everybody knows.
Yeah.
And I think he accepts that.
I think, I wish they would just have him show up in some way or another, because Paul Walker's brothers, when he passed away, it was in the middle of filming that whatever Furious 7 was called, that one, and his brothers like stepped in, and they look similar to him, and they filled in and they filmed some of the scenes, and they did some CGI, and you can't even tell when it's him and when it's his brothers. So I feel like there's ways to make him present. And I mean, they had, I think it was the end of the last one, they had his car, his Skyline, pull up in front of the house for the barbecue. I get what you're saying, and it does make sense. And I do think it is a nice gesture that they didn't just take the easy way out and kill him. And I guess I shouldn't have a problem with it because we're suspending disbelief so much with the series already. But it's like, why in these situations would Mia be the one that's there with the kid instead of the guy who is a cop and has all of this? Like, in that world where he's alive, it just doesn't make sense. But I just need to, it's a stupid thing for me to get hung up on. Like I said, it's like cars fly in this.
I do agree with you, Matt. Like that crossed my mind. Actually, what bothered me more was, why did they keep the kid at the house? Like, if they felt they were in danger, get that kid out of there. Like, you know, like I didn't understand why they were there.
Too.
That house
it was blown up and rebuilt.
It's blown up. It's rebuilt. It's people are falling through the floor. Like that place is, and like
it got shot up in the first movie.
Yeah, that house blows up. And that's I mean, it's just a testament to Dom and his loyalty even to that house.
Oh my God.
Because you know they had.
Are you a writer for these movies? Like, Jesus.
I just ride or die
this
for
is
the
her
characters
pitch.
that I really like. But they had the money. They could have built, you know, the best house ever, but they wanted the same house again. So that's what they did. That house is just enough for them, you know? They know it's just material things. They don't need a house. They are a house. Their family is a house. That's what a house is. So I just got to call out that house is iconic. It's iconic.
It is impressive. I also think one thing, Fast and Furious, for the most part, last Fast 9, I feel like not so much, but they've had some really good villains in their series. Like I thought Jason Momoa was awesome in this.
Yeah,
I thought he made the movie. Like his character, he played it just like the perfect amount of unhinged and over the top, yet threatening and funny. That I thought he was great. But and like when Jason Statham was a bad guy, he was good as that. When Luke Evans was the bad guy, he was good as that. Charlize Theron, hit or miss. She hasn't been bad. Her haircut in the last one was fucking awful, so it's better in this one. She had that like really bad bowl cut. But
yeah, that's right. It was a bowl cut.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, Jason Momoa, like so irritating. Like every time he was on screen, like I loved it. He was almost like he was like Thanos in the Avengers, like to compare it, you know what I mean? Like that's what that felt like.
I think when he prepared to play that character, he just watched Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean like over and over again. The hand gestures, the like mannerisms, like you couldn't have Johnny Depp because like he doesn't fit the like requirements as far as like, you know, weight, muscle, whatever. So this was like the muscular Johnny Depp, or what is his pirate? Whatever he is.
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. Mm-hmm.
I think he was a combination of that, and I was telling Steve earlier, of Heath Ledger's Joker, where he's just kind of unhinged and over the top. That he seemed like a mashup of the Joker and Jack Sparrow. And just you could tell he was just having so much fun playing that character.
So much fun, yeah. Yeah.
Like when he's painting the nails of the two dead people. Hilarious.
So funny.
And terrifying. Like, oh my God.
Terrifying, but so funny. I just feel like he and I had the same hair, and he was just funny. I feel like he had those glasses with the chain. I'm like, I would wear those. Like, so many things in common, actually. Though I'm not like quite unhinged at that level, I don't feel like. But I just, yeah, he was so good. He was like what the franchise needed, as like just enough of a refresh where you're like, okay, this is great. Because if it had just been like Charlize Theron again, like actually I love her, but you'd have kind of been like, okay, like yeah, we get it. She's a bad guy,
right?
So I like it.
I also just love, like, there were a bunch of new characters introduced in this. Like we had Alan Richson. I forget what his character's name. He's the one who runs the agency now after Mr. Nobody disappeared and Little Nobody taken out.
Can we talk about the room? The agency, Steven called it out. He's like, what the hell is this room? And I'm like,
it's like Cerebro from X-Men.
Cerebro. That's exactly what I was thinking, but she wouldn't get that reference, so I didn't say it. But yes, like where's freaking Professor X with his helmet? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I just referenced it as the BDE room because like I just feel like it was just ridiculous. Like was like
I always
okay. Where are you?
There's just clips from the movies playing in it, and it's like, how would you have camera angles on all these things? Like, how would you have this? How would you have this footage? And there's just all this holographic ones. Like, this just isn't cost effective. Yeah. If you're using taxpayer dollars for this, that's fucked up.
Like, I'm like, can you imagine watching like sports games in there? You know, you got like a recliner that like swivels on a 360, and then you could have like all your games. Your sports games. That's how much I'm into sports. Yeah. You can't tell. That's what I'm calling it. Sports games room.
But hey, speaking of that guy, spoiler alert. He survived at the end, right? Like he didn't get killed off yet, right?
Right. Yeah, he was.
Okay,
he was
I was
on
just
Jason Momoa's side. He had fired
a
rocket launcher to take out the plane with Tyrese and Han and. Who else is on there?
Yeah, and I was.
Well, we know they don't die because.
Right, there's no way they do that cliffhanger.
Nobody actually dies in this movie.
Yeah,
right.
Like literally, not one person.
No. Yeah, and Matt, like you mentioned, how annoyed you are by like the previews showing everything, and like I definitely get where you're coming from. And so yeah, like they're on the dam. And I'm like, oh my God, like, and I even looked at the time. I knew it was like a 2.5 hour movie or something. And like, I remember looking at the time and I was like, oh man, we still have like a half hour left or something like that. Or maybe, I don't remember exactly how long, but yeah, and then it was over. I was like, holy cow, I did not see this like cliffhanger ending like coming at all. So, I mean, you know, that was cool. And yeah, I was also just like, yes, another movie with Jason Momoa. Like, this will be awesome. I was glad he survived.
Which, like, was anyone else shocked? Because I felt like Vin Diesel was on this, like, farewell tour. That's why he was, like, trying to get The Rock to come back, like, close it up, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, this is obviously not the end.
I heard he said the plan was to make 11 movies, which is a really weird fucking number to end it at, 11. And this one, I did see this one in some of the marketing. It was pitched as Fast X Part 1. So I thought there was a chance it would end on a cliffhanger. But, I mean, all of the movies have been continuation. So I thought it would have had more closure than, like, a cliffhanger. Like, you don't know if those people are dead. The dam is about to blow up when Dom's there with this kid. Which... these people are fucking invincible. Like they like spin and they catch them on like the hood of their car more in the other ones. And they're like, that's fine. Like they're catching them on a mattress or something. It's like, this is the hood of a speeding vehicle. That person has at least 5 bones that are broken.
Or they like beat the living shit out of each other, like the fight scene between Letty and the Charlize Theron, like literally, like broken back. Like I just
that was future magic healing room. Yeah.
I love it. I love
I
every
also
minute of it. But
was so confused because she's working with Cypher to get out, then finds the way out, and then she like, I can't let you
Decides to pick a
escape because you're
fight.
shitty, and just decides to try to beat the shit out of her. But then when she finds out she's in the Arctic, then she's like, okay. It's like, well, when she gives you the outfit, then you beat the shit out of her again if you really care about her not leaving. Like, it's just, they like to bring everyone that's an enemy into the family. Like, I don't think anyone's really stayed an enemy.
I think that beat up was more of like, you need to get what's owed to you because you've been an asshole. And it wasn't so much like, I want you to stay there, or like, you know, it was more of like, we can work together, but like, you have unpaid bills, and so I am here to collect, kind of thing. And it was awesome. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I need to like learn how to kick butt, I guess. But I think that I don't know. I just can't with like the drama in the like, I don't know, they're like monologues that they do, you know. She's like, I met the devil and I was disappointed it wasn't me, and you're like, oh, like, let's go, we're just here before you bleed out on my couch. Dom's like, tell me what you know, and I'm like, exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you have X amount of minutes to live and you're here to give us like this dramatized story. Like, sometimes I'm like, cut to the chase, people.
Yeah, the dialogue's pretty bad. Like, it's pretty cheesy and is the writing. But that's why it's like, I'm here for the action.
But you expect it. But if it wasn't cheesy, I would be disappointed, maybe?
Right.
Like, this is where I go for like one-liners that are just ridiculous, but like, also great.
When Jason Momoa and Vin Diesel are fighting, I don't remember what Vin Diesel does exactly, but Jason Momoa just goes, "You butthole," and I'm like, "Are we in middle school? You just called him a butthole. Like, you can say ass. Like, what is going on right now?"
That's part of his character.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's part of his character, the way
but
it was. But yeah, I'm trying to remember what
happened.
Oh my god, I was laughing like every other scene because something more ridiculous than the last scene happened. It was just like, oh my god.
I am here for them bringing back the most epic like the memory that's in my brain forever, when they pull that safe with 2 cars and they drag it down the internet. I'm like, thank God this is in this movie too. I hope it's in the next movie. I want to see this thing on repeat. But then it was one better, helicopters. I couldn't even think of this shit. Like, it's too good. Of course, what is next? I don't know, but I'll tune in and find out.
Yeah,
they've done tanks. That Challenger is the heaviest car,
dude,
ever. Like,
it is it's like made of lead, but it's also light as a feather because it goes so fast. But it's also heavy enough that like it can fly out of planes and it just sinks like as if it's like an anchor in water.
Man, it can drag 2 helicopters on fire.
Also, that car has been through it. If it's the same car, which I assume it is, the way he tinkers, like, he has crushed, rebuilt, crushed, burned down, you name it. Jesus, I don't know how many miles are on that vehicle, but I mean,
it's got a rebuilt engine.
It is going to, in the resale market, expensive because like you can drive it forever.
We was talking about that. He's like, "You made one mistake. You didn't take my car." And that's when he like floors it and goes off the dam.
Goes off the dam.
Took my family. One mistake.
And then Steven mentioned this, but there's obviously a wave of flames behind him, to which he then undoes the NOS in his car. Right, so it's like filling his car with gasoline. And you're like,
turning into a bomb.
I don't know what's gonna happen here, but yeah.
That's just bad parenting right there. The kid in the car.
Yeah.
Also, I want like a behind the scenes, but still in that universe of like how he prepped all of these scenarios, like Jason Momoa, like the way he like got
Yeah.
these tanks and he got all these bombs, and then he also had this big ball bomb, and then like he had all these people and he'd already kidnapped everybody's families. I'm like, this guy doesn't sleep. Like, he's the hardest working guy in the room. Okay, like.
But that's how
I
all
want
the
behind the
bad
scenes on how
that's
he's
how
pulling
all
all
the
this shit off.
villains are in these movies. They're always like one step ahead of everyone. And yeah, we just never know why or how or whatever, you know.
Or how much money? Like, but then also Dom's family has a submarine? Like,
Well,
okay.
the submarine
Well, that's from
was
the 8th
from
movie.
I would say the 8th one. Yeah, it was from
Yeah.
one of them. That's what The
Yeah.
Rock is like. He hangs out of a car and grabs a missile that the submarine has fired and throws it back at a car because the missile's like skittering on the ice towards him, and he's hanging out, and he grabs it and he redirects it. Which
I think I need to rewatch that movie.
yeah.
Like,
I don't
8
remember this
and
part.
9 are kind of forgettable for me. Like, I think I only saw each of those once, and you know, it was just kind of like, okay, yep, another ridiculous Fast and Furious movie. But like, yeah, I probably should give those a rewatch.
Dang. And I think it's so interesting too, because like I just googled it, and Vin Diesel's only 5'11", because I think he looks short.
Oh yeah, I thought he was
like,
shorter than
you would
that.
never guess in the movie. Yeah, 5'11", so he's short.
I mean, I'm 5'10".
But like, how tall is like The Rock?
The Rock is like 6'4".
I guess like 6'2", 6'3". Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
I looked up The Rock, and I almost said 6'10", but that's The Undertaker. Fun side fact of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten into wrestling recently.
He's 6'4".
Okay.
The Rock is 6'4".
Good guess, Steve. Or did you just know that? You knew The Rock was 6'4".
He's a big fan. Big fan.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know his dimensions, but like...
dimensions. Like he's a DIY shelf cabinet figure house. What are the dims?
I do not know his girth.
You're not familiar with The Rock's girth?
I am not.
Do you think there's
Can you smell?
a girth threshold to being a part of these movies? I guess not.
Well, that was part of the problem. They had The Rock and Vin Diesel, and part of their fights, they both had like their contracts that they can't lose a fight, and so that's why their fights with each other are always just draws in the movies, and they just have their dick swinging contest. And then I don't know, I enjoy The Rock, but I feel like some of the stuff he does is just like a cash grab. Like, why are we doing a live action Moana now with The Rock as Maui? Like, that movie came out like 6 years ago. The live action versions, I mean, all the Disney live action ones have just been like shittier versions of the animated one. This is like a recent animated one. But
yeah, I don't know.
I love The Rock.
And I do too. I love The Rock. I will defend him until the day I die. But like, just it almost seems like every superstar just kind of goes through this, where like, you know, they're hot and they attack. They know how to make the money, and they do anything and everything to make that money. So like, sure, another deal with Disney. Fuck yeah. You know, why wouldn't I? 'Cause like, I think the same thing about like Kevin Hart. Like, you know, he got so big so fast, and like everywhere you turned you saw him, and it was kind of like, okay, dude, like let's just chill out a little bit, you know, like I don't know, I feel that way about like some bands sometimes too, and it's just like don't need, not necessary. But I get it. Like, at the end of the day, like, we want to make money. So you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
We love money.
This one, it brought in Pete Davidson, which a lot of
God,
people
what a
have hated on that, but
cameo.
I thought it was great. Yeah,
Well,
I thought it was
how
great.
did he pass the DIMS? How did he pass the required DIMS to be a male in this show? Because I would argue he's the opposite of
Maybe
what
he
I
has some
assumed.
dirt on
But
him.
he didn't have to fight. He didn't have to fight anyone.
It's true. He just
I just
watched
feel like we're
Roman
seeing
and
a
Tej
pattern
fight.
here. Yeah, we're seeing a pattern in the men that appear in this movie, and he doesn't fit that mold.
He
So good
hit
for
the
him.
girth mark, Rachel. that was the dimmy.
That's right. That's right. How can I forget? You can hit that same DIMS, however, just as long as
Right.
you hit them, you make it in.
Yep.
Oh, but what
He
a
should have
great
been in that
cameo!
BDE
Like,
room.
yes, but like, I would have just loved to have been on the phone when it's like, hey, Pete Davidson, you want to be in Fast and Furious? Oh yeah, sure. And it's like, okay, you just have to play yourself. Oh great,
Right.
you know, like
Right.
Which is what he plays in like everything, I feel like.
true.
He has a new like Curb Your Enthusiasm style show on Peacock called Bupkis. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't
I'm
either,
hit
but
or
I've
miss
seen a
on
lot of
Pete
ads for it.
Davidson. He was good in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Did you guys see that one? It's kind of like a little bit of a, not really horror, but suspense, A24 movie. It was really good.
Oh, so he plays himself.
Yeah, he plays himself in that one too. And so, yeah, I don't mind Pete Davidson. I saw people on Twitter were like, oh, I can't believe Pete Davidson was in it. That ruined the movie for me. I'm like, how? That was like the perfect role for him. He was in it less than 5 minutes. Like, get over it. This movie also added. That's right. This movie also added Brie Larson, which I typically like Brie Larson. I felt like she was not great in this. I felt like she just seemed off. And I don't know if that was me, but I just felt like I also think Kurt Russell's showing up in the next one. There's no way he's dead. Like they've talked about him, Mr. Nobody, just disappearing, and they've alluded if he's dead, if he's not, he's definitely showing up.
Yeah, that was so weird to me. Like it was almost it was almost like Kurt Russell died in real life or something, and this is how they were trying to handle it. But like, no, Kurt Russell is very alive. Like that was a weird aspect of the movie, I thought. And yeah, Brie, I get what you mean. Like it, I don't know. Yeah, her acting just like wasn't very good. I don't know if it's.
But I think she was trying to channel like her dad's personality, which was also kind of like awkward and like almost like bad acting, but intentionally bad. Do you know what I mean? Like I always felt like that's how Mr. Nobody kind of came off, and I think she was trying to like make it very obvious that she was his daughter by doing the same thing. Maybe that's what I thought.
That could be, but like the part where it was the worst for me was the bridge in Rio de Janeiro when they're doing the fight, and she jumps on the hood of Jason Momoa's car, and just like rubs her spiked tennis shoe on it as she's in her bright blue blazer. Just rubs it on the car.
Her power blazer.
She did rock the power blazer. But yeah, I don't know. And then I did kind of roll my eyes a little bit when Gal Gadot's character Giselle showed back up with the submarine at the end, just in the Antarctic.
There's no rule.
Randomly.
Dude,
she was very dead.
Yes! Like, what? Dude, like, I was looking at the screen. And like, I don't, I saw it and like, I started squinting because I'm like, no way is that her. Who is that supposed to be? Like, I was trying to take any and every angle at it to try and figure out, like, that can't be her. She has a twin sister, probably.
Well, I'm figuring like at this point, Elena
Clones.
or whatever her name was, like Dom's baby mama. Like I'm wondering, is she even dead? Like, yeah, Cypher shot her in the head, but now Cypher's on their side. Is Cypher is Elena
That's what I
be
said. Like
in
the audience, the audience did not see her die. You know,
we've seen people die that are here. Like Han, we saw him die. He blew up in Tokyo Drift, and then
Letty got shot in the head. You know, like
Letty was dead.
No, you have to die in real life to get out of this cult.
No, but then you're not. You just don't show up in the movie.
That's true. Okay, I take that back. I retract that statement.
Yeah, and so
you live forever.
Yep.
Yeah, so because of this, spoiler alert, like John Cena is alive. He survived flipping his rocket-powered car or rocket launcher car. It wasn't El Camino, that's right. He survived launching that into oncoming traffic and setting it off.
Just fire the fucking cannon straight ahead. There's no need to flip into them and blow up.
Yeah, that was confusing.
Just fire your cannons at them.
Like, there were railings. There was a railing, but, like, I felt like the cannon...
take out the railing.
Think about the conversation we're having right now, you know?
The car cannon.
I feel like the cannons maybe sat higher than the railing. I don't know, but, like... Yeah, John Cena is alive and well. What's his name? Is he Jack? Uncle Jack?
Jacob.
Well, Jacob. That's right.
With a K.
Uncle Jacob is alive and well. He will be at Thanksgiving. It will be
He'll
good.
be at the next fiesta with Abuelita because listen to me. Listen to how I just said that. That is like what John Cena would sound like if he was also trying.
Yeah.
Like,
John Cena is also very white.
Yeah. They must all have different moms or dads. So they all have the same dad, different moms. They never talk about their mom, do they?
No, I don't remember the mom being mentioned.
Well, maybe
just like how
cool.
Dom's so big on family and doesn't mention he has a brother until the 9th movie.
Which, also suspect. Yeah.
I rewatched that one. That one had way too many flashbacks. Like Fast 9. Like that might be my least favorite of the series. Like that one just for some reason, I don't know if it was the going to space stuff too, that like I appreciate the absolutely ridiculousness, but that for some reason that was just too much for me with them and their duct tape and all the candy bar wrappers floating. And I don't know. I didn't have as much fun with the 9th one, but this one I had a lot of fun with.
Yes.
I think we're sleeping on Tokyo Drift though. I think everyone is sleeping on Tokyo Drift. I really like that one.
Who invited you?
Doesn't Lil Bow Wow have a Hulk car? Doesn't he have like the Hulk on it or something? Yeah.
It's like kind of fun. It's different, you know? Like you get to see like the different culture and like all the other ones are the same. They're always in these obscure locations, but it's the same obscure locations. Like all the time, they're going somewhere like with a very Latin influence because the ladies are hot and the music is hot, and they want to drive their American muscle cars that somehow got there. Same car is a world traveler. I want to see this car's passport. Okay, like how is this car easily get places than me? Like it would be harder for me to get somewhere than it is for Dom.
It's a Transformer. That's what's going to happen in the next one. They're a crossover with Transformers.
Yes.
Dom's car is a Transformer.
But you almost have to remember like how this series like has gone. Like I would say like the 5th movie is like where it first got away from like just street racing and doing some like little petty really thefts ridiculous. Or some shit. Yeah, like Tokyo Drift was still during like when Fast and Furious was like considered a street racing, you know, franchise. But yeah, I may have to give you credit, Rachel. I don't know if I've ever even finished Tokyo Drift.
Okay. I haven't watched Tokyo
Drift. You watch it. Oh my God!
Years.
Who invited you guys? I want to talk to the real fans.
the real friends of the
people
family.
Seen it exactly.
I've seen it.
Ones
it's
that are
just
car
been
lovers.
years. I will watch Tokyo
Embarrassing for
Drift
you.
in the next week. That will be my word to you.
I
I'll
don't
watch-
want your feedback or opinions, but I
Unless
know
it's
you will enjoy
positive.
it. Yeah, unless it's positive.
Yeah. No,
I
I've
just
had
think people
fun.
sleep on it. I mean, I think it gets a lot of hate.
I think part of it's because that main character's southern accent is so fucking bad. I feel like it's so
Is it real?
brutal. I don't think
Well,
so.
I think it's.
Is it?
I feel like
think it
everything he's in, he has a southern
He has an
accent.
accent.
Like,
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think right now he does like a NCIS show or something, or
Well, then I apologize.
But like,
I feel like
think
his
of
name's
Friday
Lucas
Night
Black.
Lights.
Is that right?
He's definitely going to listen to this and be offended.
I know Lucas Black.
Embarrassing.
For sure.
It's like the second episode we
That's
did.
embarrassing.
We shit on Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's like, well, he's never going to listen to it, so it doesn't really matter. I don't like his
mattered.
voice. That's my Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I don't know who that is.
He's the Hamilton guy, and he did Encanto
I know who that is.
and Vivo. Have you guys seen Vivo?
Encanto.
Yeah.
No.
I don't. Vivo's okay. Encanto, I like Encanto a lot. But
Love. Big Encanto fans over here.
yeah, I take it back, Lucas Black, for shitting on your southern accent if it's real.
Yeah, it's real.
Just, apparently,
It's
even
real.
though I grew up in Texas, apparently southern accents just don't do it for me. Thick southern drawl. And maybe it's the fact that he has
Texas? What?
Yeah. I lived in Texas from when I was 2 until I was 8. So Texas.
Did we know this, Rich?
I mean, I don't know that I'd call that growing up, but no.
I mean, so until high school, that's where I had lived the longest in my life. And so now I've been here for about 14 years. But before that, I was in Texas. I was born in California, then in Texas until I was 8, and then Nebraska for a year, then Iowa for 4 years, and then back to Nebraska. So Texas was where I lived the longest until
college. To be fair, we probably didn't know this because you went to the same school the whole time.
That's true. I was homeschooled. I did. That is where I went to school. I didn't have to switch schools at all.
But I feel like, that's how sometimes, like, oh, I went to high school here and I went to, you know what I mean? So I could see where maybe we missed it. Or
no, I went to True Paths Christian School my whole time. That's the name.
I love that.
My mother named it. Mm-hmm. There's even a song.
The principal got to name the school.
Yep. No, I don't. My dad was the principal, and I think he could have cared less about the name of the school. For being honest. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So
how did we get here?
I thought you'd have a southern accent then, but
no,
that's right.
Very critical. Just very critical.
But
very critical. So
it's okay, you have more experience than we do.
So in theory, I did see rumors that originally they were going to do 11. So this next one would have been the last one. But I did hear that now they're planning on making a 12th one, supposedly. In which I'm not surprised. I feel like as long as they're still making money, they're going to keep. I saw one thing too that they're going to do like a female spinoff, which I could see them setting it up for with like Michelle Rodriguez, Charlize Theron, and Gal Gadot. That they could be doing
that. Can we just say we love Michelle Rodriguez for normalizing a masculine body on a woman and still being like a lead. Good for her.
Yeah.
I don't think you see that too often, but she is shaped like a man.
Fun fact, she was
in like the
movie...
best of ways. Like she's working on that body. She is muscular and she can definitely kick my ass any day of the week.
She was in a movie where she played a hitman who the enemies like took him out and changed his sex to a woman, and that woman was Michelle Rodriguez. Fun fact. I don't remember the name of it, but that is a movie that exists.
Money.
Yeah. So You guys, if you can
Fun
put
facts today.
one new actor or actress into Fast X Part 2, who do you want to see join the family? Or as a villain? Someone who hasn't been in it before.
It's funny you brought this up because at the start of our conversation about this, I was kind of thinking, like, man, like, who is missing? Mainly when we were talking about, like, the gigantic bodies and stuff. And I thought of Dave Bautista.
Oh, he'd be good in those. I liked him at the Guardians movies. He was good in the Knives Out sequel. I forget what, Glass Onion.
Oh,
on Netflix.
yeah. Forgot about that.
He was good in there.
The zombie one on Netflix. What was that? Army of the Dead or
Army
whatever?
Of the Dead.
Yeah.
He would be, like, he'd fit into the
He would
Fast
fit in
franchise.
real well,
pick.
you know.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Rachel.
That's hard. I'm trying to think of a female. But I don't know that I have anybody.
Are you Googling buff females right now?
Yeah. Females with
From
masculine bodies.
Succession.
No. Gag.
Sarah Snook.
That's right. That's her name.
Oh, that's her name.
I don't want Cardi B to show up in the next one. That's my wish. Who I don't want to show up, because she is such a bad actress in these. She is so bad.
Oh
That's
my
right.
gosh. You can do anything in these movies. You do not have to. I mean, literally, the sky is the limit.
Was that the
Like,
ninth
think of all
one
the
she was in?
Yeah. She is in there. She
I
gets
love her.
the SWAT team that goes in and takes Dom out. She's like, this gun is coated. That's a bad idea. I'm not going to try to do a Cardi B impression. That can get problematic very fast. But she gives him a pistol and says it's coded to Jacob's biometrics so they can track him from that. Yeah, and it's just, I think she might have been in the 8th one too. There was some other female rapper that helped him play in something. I mean, Iggy Azalea was in the 7th one in the Race Wars in the Desert, which that's just a horrible name for the street races. They're like, hey, come on out for Race Wars.
Race Wars. I think that's a real life thing though, or at least used to be, like,
yeah.
Back when the first movie came out, because the first movie they called it Race Wars, I remember.
Yeah. Apparently the first draft of the script, it was Street Wars, and then they decided to change it to Race Wars. But
bold choice. Always pushing the envelope, you know? What would you expect anything less?
Yeah. So Rachel,
I don't really have anyone. No, I can't think of anyone. I'm trying to use my brain, but it's not working. I was trying to think, like, who's super hot right now. Like, that would make sense. Well, isn't J-Lo coming out in an action movie soon? Can't wait to see how that goes. And then
I could see J-Lo.
Maybe
J-Lo's
next.
I see her popping up in it.
I think so. I think she would fit in really well. She kind of reminds me of, like, you know, Dom's baby mama. Like, she's kind of got the same vibe. So I vote J-Lo.
Nice.
Watch her in anything.
No, talking about the different actors, it reminded me, like, we were trying to figure out, like, what happened to, isn't it Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he fell out of the car.
He's supposed, I don't know. They implied that he's dead, but we never see him dead. So, like, there's no way he's dead. Because, yeah, that's what, because he was the head of that agency, and they said that he was, I don't know if they explicitly said the words dead, but they said that he was off the board or something, I feel like. And that's why.
See, I thought that was Mr.
Richardson
Nobody
was
the
there.
whole time, I guess.
That was Little Nobody, which was Scott Eastwood. And
so there was Little Nobody? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was called Little Nobody. Mr. Nobody was Kurt Russell. So yeah, they implied that he's dead, but we never see him die.
I didn't pick up on that then.
Also,
I heard
bomb,
nobody, so I thought it was Kurt Russell. Like, I guarantee that was what.
If him jumping out of his vehicle kills him, but other people can literally be lit on fire or shot in the head, and they're making a comeback, that's wrong.
Not dead.
He's coming back.
He's not
There's
dead.
No way he's
There's
dead.
no way.
Also, that bomb was... I don't get how that bomb worked, because the bomb was on fire. And, like, it's just rolling, and it's on fire. And it was almost like he triggered it where it was on fire. It's like, is it intentionally on fire, or what was going on? And then the plan all along was to blow up the Vatican. I'm like... just so much.
Also, all the people that are just standing around, that had me cracking up. Like, this ball of metal is on fire. It's very obviously dangerous, and like, it falls off that big ledge, and it's like right near people, and they're like, I'm like, that really, you didn't like see this commotion where like
that was so fucking loud.
Oh,
no way.
Also, I like the part where he's driving, let's say 200 miles an hour down the interstate, going the wrong direction. Shout out to the minivan in that scene. That's like, he's coming at the minivan, and the minivan's flashing its lights. Like, I wonder if this guy knows he's going the wrong direction. Like, you gotta throw those things in so it's a little bit more realistic. But
that's
then
right.
I'm like, can you imagine if you're just like driving along, and here comes Dom Toretto in his supercar going 200 miles an hour, dragging two helicopters, like Steven was like, you just pulled to the side, and you're kind of like, well, is this deemed an emergency? Like, do we move to the shoulder? I have a lot of questions. Also, there's never any cars on the interstate. Like,
no, it's almost like they've cleared them out, like they did for the street racing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The convenience.
Where the cops are like, here we go again. Here they come. Shut down the interstate. It's gonna be a thing. There's a bomb or 5.
It's fine. I think
Any question?
I don't think it'll happen. But I think I'd like to see Henry Cavill pop up in it. I think his character in Mission Impossible Fallout is there, where he's kind of like and I don't even remember. I think he was a dirty agent in that.
Yeah.
That is bad. Or just kind of the bad guy, the intimidating military presence. I could see him either as part of the agency come in or something. I think he would be interesting to throw in there.
Maybe Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Wow.
I like that too. That's what we just need, more like Pete Davidson. Like, let's throw Paul Rudd in here.
Yeah.
Let's have Paul Rudd be part of the family.
Yeah.
Just playing
Andy
a
Samberg.
teenager.
Let's get Jack Black in here. Jack Black
Dude.
in Fast X Part 2.
Yep. I have quite a few of those people that I would just love to see just sprinkled in the top there. Just other pieces of the family that they've networked with that live in other obscure locations all over the U.S. that are like ride or die, literally. More of those people.
All right. Well,
wild.
Wrap up the Fast X there. You guys have any last thoughts, last words on the movie?
It was a fun time. I would say it's the best one since 7, which oh my god, we were in the car talking. We were in the car leaving the theater talking about it, and I can't remember exactly what Rach said, but she was trying to remember like which movie did they like do the farewell to to Paul Walker or whatever, and she kept being like, "Was that the last one?" I'm like, no, like that was way back, like the 7th movie, and like just saying that out loud, that like, no, that was back in the 7th movie, like is quite possibly the most ridiculous thing ever. But like, no, this one was great. Just cheesy, campy action. You got your cheesy one-liners, and you know it went fast too. That's another thing. It went fast and furious, you know. But like, no, I remember booking the showtime, and it said like 2 hours and like 20 minutes or something. I'm like, yeah, you know, that sounds about right with these movies. But like, man, it went fast. It felt, I don't know. I think it actually went like 2 hours. I don't know if they were, for some reason, I don't know. I don't know why, but yeah, it just seemed it had good pace, wasn't really slow.
Did you guys stay
there
for
is
the
a post-credit scene?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Rock is back. And it was such a badass scene, and then he had to get his catchphrase.
Dude, that was
some bitch.
that was so, like, talk about cringe. And again, I love The Rock.
He shattered an iPhone with his hands.
Yeah, you knew he was gonna do that, but yeah.
I thought this movie felt like a little bit of Saw mixed in with Fast and Furious, which is just what I needed, where it's like he's playing all these games and he's like voicing over like, oh, hey Tommy, let's play. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, is he gonna ride out on a tricycle with some face paint? I was dying to know. We're like, are we gonna have to dive into a pool of syringes? Like, so many things that made me think of Saw. So love that, because I actually big Saw movie fan. I actually like, so what is my life without Fast and Furious? Like, I don't even know my own identity, because I have grown up in this family and I have an emotional attachment, and I love cars, and I think because of Dom Toretto, I love cars. So I'll say there's always the best cars in these movies. Love that, actually. Like, and loved that Momoa also had like a classic muscle car. I thought that was pretty cool, and loved that it was like purple. Cute. And then of course the iconic Dom Toretto car. Great to see it's on its 11th leg. Can't wait to see it in two more, I guess 10. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be entertained, like, it'll entertain you. I think you do have to go into these with like low expectations of like, you have to see the other movies to know what your expectations should be. And not that that's a bad thing. I think it's kind of nice to sit back and it be wild and ridiculous. Like, it's kind of the break you need from real life, I guess. Also, I leave jazzed. I don't know about anybody else, but you leave kind of feeling like you should be like beating people up and like driving way too fast. And like, I kind of love that feeling, you know, because my suburban life is sometimes pretty blah, and it's just the jazz I need to make it through.
I got about 85 on the interstate on the way home on the turnpike, I guess.
We definitely need to upgrade our car, but you know, it's fine. So yeah, if you know what to expect and you want to be entertained, you'll never be disappointed. And it's a warm feeling to be part of Dom Toretto's family. I'm glad to be here.
And you have modeled your whole life after it. You do always say that you live your life a quarter mile at a time. So
that is, yep. Yeah, that's my LinkedIn.
I think you have that tattooed
that's my
somewhere,
LinkedIn
don't
title.
you?
Oh, secrets only Steven would know. So I feel like, I'm just loyal to a fault. You know, I'm just living my life like Dom. What would Dom do? That's what I'm asking myself on the regular.
If people don't know about Fast and Furious, they're gonna be like, they're gonna think you live a different lifestyle. If you have, what would Dom do?
I don't know. I just I feel like there's a theme. I'm just ride or die for the characters that I like. They are perfect. They can't do anything wrong, and that's how I feel about Dom Toretto. Obsessed.
There's worse things to be ride or die about. So,
fair.
I don't really have anything else to add. I agree with you guys. I think these movies are just fun. If you go in expecting that, you're not expecting it to be Oscar contenders or anything like that. Just some fun, turn your brain off action and enjoy the ride. The family. And I don't know if they filmed the next one at the same time as this one or anything, or if they have yet to start filming or anything. But because if they haven't, we probably have like a 2.5-3 year wait before the next one, and that makes me mad. I want the next one now. I want to just inject it in my veins.
See, I was thinking
not in your veins.
I was thinking the original plan, they were gonna end it on like the 10th movie or something, but like they were supposed to be filming like the last 2 or 3 movies like almost all together, because I think
what I had thought
towards the end it was supposed to be like one, every year there was going to be a new movie. Mm-hmm. Then like COVID happened obviously and stuff, so like I don't know much, but part of me wants to say that like they did these 2 movies like kind of together. And
let's go.
Hopefully a year from now, Memorial Day weekend or May, we'll just say, we're ride or dying.
Hell yeah.
What do you think? What's your prediction for the name? Do you think it's going to be Fast X Part 2?
Do
you think? Yeah.
Can I give my prediction of what's going to happen next?
Yes, give your prediction.
I think I have a pretty solid one. They're going to take that submarine in Antarctica.
Oh,
and
right.
When that dam breaks, they are going to be on the other side of it. And so it's going to swoosh them, but they're going to sneak that submarine. How they got the submarine there, nobody knows. That's the mystery. And that submarine is going to pick up Dom and his kid. Like Letty is going to jump out in like a scuba suit. And she's going to go scoop him up. You know what I mean? And
I would fucking love if that
And
happened.
then they're going to drop the necklace like Titanic. They're going to drop the necklace like Titanic. And then in the next couple of movies, it's going to wash up somewhere and they're going to be like, oh my gosh. Or they're going to go then around the corner with their submarine and they're going to rescue all the people in the plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
I
like it.
Oh my gosh, Hans is not going to be able to handle the reunion, right? Like it's not his name, Hans.
Han.
That's going to be its own movie and storyline, is just that rekindled love. Like he's just a sad sack of a human without his true love. And so, wow, I'm tuning in. But call me when it's over, and I bet you that submarine picks some people up.
Okay.
Anyway.
I will note that, and if you are right, you need to tell him you need some writer's credits. It's writer strike right now.
Yeah,
so
I want to be. No, I want to be in the last
credits
movie.
Oh, you want to be featured?
Not in the credits. I mean, I'll be an extra.
So no J-Lo, you're gonna be in the next one. Instead.
Yeah, watch out. I can drive a stick, so I'm here for it.
There you go.
Title Fury 11. They're gonna combine like Fury and 11, so Fury 11.
I mean, they did Fate of the Furious. That was
exactly
F8 of the Furious.
Oh, like F8?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So that wouldn't surprise me.
Fury 11.
They're just gonna go with fast Endgame and just really embrace the Avengers side of it and just bring everyone together. And
I was gonna say, when you were talking about like when you were talking about like bringing all of Dom's family, I immediately was going to Endgame with all the like Doctor Strange portals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how ridiculous can we get? here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it. Rachel, Steve, thanks for joining. It's always fun to have people to talk back and forth with, especially about family. So, everyone who tuned in, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And don't forget to go down once more. Later.